On this Transparency Tuesday, I want to talk about motivation. And I'm not just talking about, motivating to do like small things, small projects, or, because motivation can mean a lot. And especially when working on projects, large projects, film projects that can sometimes take upwards of years. And saying this because, Anthony and I, with working on Paradise, have had to always find motivation because, there are things that knock you back or knock you down or knock you not out, but we keep getting up. But it's finding that motivation to keep driving to do what we want to do. Because I will say that trying to be a filmmaker and make it within this industry it's tough. It's very competitive. It's very challenging. There's so many people out there that will either tell you you can't do it, shouldn't do it, whatever that may be. And because of that, because of everything that goes on around you, distractions from whether it's just family members, friends, the industry, society, trying to find motivation to continue to go follow your dreams, follow your passions, all that can be extremely difficult. I'm not going to lie. I mean, it's a lot easier to give up. Yes. It's a lot easier to take an easy road out and not really put forth the work. I think that's a big one that most people expect it to happen and really don't put in the work. It's a lot of work. I mean, it's a lot of hours, and it can take years. I think Paradise we wrote over 2 years ago. Hell, I think when starting it was over 3 years ago when we started the project, and it was beyond that when we actually had from Anthony's original short story. It was probably 8 or 9 years ago. So when you think about motivation to kind of get started, there's a lot that can, I think, push you back. And the real reason for this, I guess I'm rambling here, is motivation really should come from purpose. And I think to motivate yourself, you should try to define your purpose, what the purpose is of maybe a specific project or your purpose of whatever your passion is. And I'm not saying you have to tell everyone that. I have my purpose and I think about it all the time, and maybe eventually someday I'll share it. But to me, that's kind of something that I hold in myself, and I take that purpose, and it's kind of like that little flame, that little spark that when I'm feeling that I get lazy or just I'm not going to give up. That's the one thing I will say. But when you're finding yourself kind of struggling to find that motivation again, it's going back to the purpose. Well, why do I do this? Why is it that I want this? What does it mean to me? And that's where I kind of always try to say that motivation really comes because when you're working on projects, when you're working long hours, and when people are saying no, and you keep struggling to find that spark or that perfect kind of whatever it is, pitching a project, getting someone to say yes, getting the crew together, getting the cast, getting the funding. There's so many components, and it's very easy that when you get one part and then someone goes no on another part, you go, you've got to remember, well, why am I doing this? What does it mean to me to kind of complete this project? Because I think that's, when you see a project fully come through, it makes it all worthwhile. But you've got to remember that no matter how long the project is, even if you just started, I know with The Eye, we just kind of recently just started writing that. So we've only been in it for, 3 months. And trust me, even this past weekend, I was writing, but not making much progress because I'm struggling with a part of the story, but I kept going back and I kept flushing it out. And that just takes time. And that's where you just kind of keep motivation on this project myself. Well, what is the story I'm trying to tell? What's the purpose of the story? Why do I want to tell it? So I think just with this Transparency Tuesday that I've been rambling on about motivation, it's define your purpose. Why is it that you're doing what you want to do? And you don't have to tell anyone. I think if you define it yourself and know it, people will see it and it will shine through. So that's my Transparency Tuesday for you all is to, when you're struggling and you're trying to find motivation, find your purpose and follow through with that purpose.